the White House photographer who took so many pictures of President Trump, and a book that she was expecting to publish, as so many White House photographers do. You know, that's what Pete Souza did, the photographer for President Obama. And in the end, she decided not to publish her book because President Trump, or at least in part, President Trump published his. Tell us about this.
So this is a really interesting story. My colleague Eric Lipton and I published yesterday. Trump's former White House photographer, Shay Craighead, with whom he had something of a contentious relationship. A lot of people who worked for him said that he was pretty tough on her much of the time. He was also very focused on her product because, as we know, he likes looking at pictures of himself and spends a fair amount of time on that and then looking for the best images. She had been interested in putting together a book of photos, as is a long-standing custom. These photos are public domain. Despite the fact that they're her photos, they are public domain. That's how this works. She had had some discussions with people around Trump. It was made clear that he was interested in some cut of her profits. And then there was some, discussion about whether he would participate. And then all of a sudden, he was going ahead with his own book of White House photos. And there are a lot of people around, Trump, even people who really like him, who are put off by what happened here. A bunch of them think that the photographer should have gone ahead and published her own book, and that's fine. But I can also understand why it's hard to do that when Trump is such a dominating figure who is going to criticize people for doing things he doesn't like. It just creates a chilling effect. And the wanting a piece of the profit is something that I have never heard of before.
That is so unusual. Something that really stood out to me in your reporting was that as you were reporting this out, former President Trump, actually reached out to the photographer. Is that right?
Yes. That's right. So they had not spoken since he left the White House, and after we sent questions to Trump's people, he suddenly reached out to her for the first conversation, and it was pleasant, and I think it was talking about, working together in the future. But this is a move, Brianna, that we have seen from former President Trump many times. When somebody, he thinks somebody might be saying something about him, he reaches out to them. But it is notable that it did not happen until